Hi, it's great to have you here for our midweek devotion from Living Faith. I want to draw your attention today to Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes is a book that was written by Solomon, inspired by God, written by Solomon. Solomon was one who prayed to God for wisdom. And not only did God give him wisdom, he gave him great wealth too, as he ruled God's people, the Israelites. Ecclesiastes has this theme that goes throughout the whole thing, that everything is meaningless. Well, as we continue looking in depth to God's calling for our life and finding joy and meaning in our work, it's actually very wise for us to turn to Ecclesiastes and hear what the wisest man who ever lived, besides Jesus, the one that God gave wisdom to, what he has to say about work. And turning it to this book of Ecclesiastes, where the theme is meaningless, everything is meaningless, you can gather that more than likely it's going to say work is meaningless too. Well, actually, Solomon says there's a lot of meaning in work, there's a lot of joy in work, but if the meaning behind it, if the purpose behind it isn't correct, isn't focused on the right thing, then it is meaningless. Maybe that's how you have felt sometimes in your work in life, in your career, in your calling in life, that it's somewhat meaningless or toilsome or burdensome, and there's not much joy in it. Well, look at what Solomon has to say in Ecclesiastes chapter 2, verses 24 to 26. He says, "A person can do nothing better than to eat and drink and find satisfaction in their own toil. This too I see is from the hand of God. For without him, who can eat or find enjoyment? To the person who pleases him, God gives wisdom, knowledge, and happiness. But to the sinner he gives the task of gathering and storing up wealth, to hand it over to the one who pleases God. This too is meaningless, a chasing after the wind." You know, our world is all about gathering up wealth for ourselves, to building up ourselves, to building up our retirement, our funds, our security blanket of the dollar, of investments, of our property, all that insurance, right? All that life insurance, all that health insurance, car insurance, all this insurance to protect our belongings. But also we kind of want a security blanket and insurance to make sure that we're going to get through. And not all that is bad, but if our focus is just on protecting what we have here and to store up more and more so that we can get more and more things, more and more wealth, which is really what this world's focus truly is all about, it's wrong. As Solomon says, it's a chasing after the wind. It's something that you're never going to catch. You're never going to be satisfied. You're always going to be toiling after it. But if we find in our work, in our labors, that it's not about storing up more and more, but rather it's a purpose of serving him, God who's given it to us. It's a purpose of protecting what he has given us. It's a purpose of providing for our family and serving and worshiping God. If our focus is correct and it's all putting it towards him to please God, it's not storing it up just to pass it on, because guess what? I've never seen a hearse with a U-Haul on it. Maybe you've seen a picture like that before. Once you die, and you're not taking the things with you. Same thing with heaven. Once God calls you to heaven, you're not taking a big sack of cash. You're not taking your retirement with you. You're not taking any possessions with you. All you're taking with you is your faith, your body. And that body is even going to be changed to a glorious body. So this earth, as we toil, as we work, as we provide for our families, it's not about gathering up more for this world. It's more about storing up our faith and serving our faith and serving God so that we grow in our faith, so that we can look forward to what God has stored up in heaven for us. Because nothing that we store up here on this earth with possessions and wealth will get us to heaven. It's only our faith in Him and what Jesus has done for us that gets us to heaven. Because Jesus is the only one who fully pleased God in what He did, in what He stored up on this earth. None of us can do that. But through Jesus, we get to enjoy the inheritance that Jesus won for us. So as you toil here on this earth, make it not about storing up more and more of treasures here on this earth, but rather growing in your faith, serving your faith, doing things that focus around God and focus around your relationship with Him and helping you grow in that relationship towards Him. God bless you, dear friends, and I pray that we see you next time.